ne? Ekstra lille.
West, and he gets titles like gunfighter and gunslinger. He's called wagon master. He's a town marshal in Kansas, and he also ends up being an actor for Buffalo Bill Cody's Wild West show.
Wat je moest
Det er hårdt, Basse.
Lekker best. Ja, kijk.
Okay, now we're going to take a look at some of our types of rocks that we have in here. We have quite a few different types. So the first place I'm actually going to have you take a look is the floor. So everything you are standing on right now is all graphite. This is the same exact stuff that is in your pencils. And this right here actually makes up 90% of our mine in here. And actually this whole entire left-hand side wall right here is actually made completely out of that graphite. So as you're walking by, if you want to get a little smudge with your finger, it's pretty cool. It'll look something like this. Now I'm going to have you take a look right up here at the ceiling. So you will see these rocks form in stripes. These right here are called rock bands. Dads really tend to like them. Thank you, that was a knee slapper, I know. Okay, now we're going to take a look right up here at this brownish reddish stripe right above your heads. So this right here is all iron at different levels of it oxidizing. So this will start off as a pale yellow, move into more of an orange, and then eventually will turn into a deep maroon and a brown over time as it rusts. So you can see those colors right up here, and you can see that rusty brown especially well right over here and all up along the wall. All right, now we're going to take a look at our yellow stripe. So this right here is our sulfur. This is what makes our mine so incredibly stinky. I'm sure you've noticed it already, and if you haven't yet, you will. This stuff is terrible. I promise it's not me or your neighbor. It's just the sulfur in here. It's everywhere. I'm sure you hate it, and so do I. So, all right. Now we're going to take a look right up here at this stripe. So, this right here is called melantrite. Now, in some places, it kind of looks like cookies and cream. So if you have any rock lickers in here, please restrain yourselves. This is very toxic to ingest. It's totally fine to be around, totally fine to touch. Now, this stuff can only really survive in a very cool, dark, and moist environment. If you were to actually take a chunk of this outside, it would start to disintegrate into a powder in a couple of days. So, not a great souvenir for that reason. Now this stuff really tends to condense, and when it does that, it'll turn into a nice teal color. We'll actually see more of it in the next room over, so pretty cool. This stuff right here might kind of look like gold, but this is not. This is actually iron pyrite, also known as fool's gold. So this right here was our main moneymaker in our mine, actually, rather than the real gold we got. Because we only got about 15,000 ounces over our whole production of real gold, whereas we were getting tons and tons, and I mean tons of this iron pyrite out of here every single day. So this was used in the smelting process, and it was actually used to help extract real gold from other substances. Now these right here are called jackleg drills, and these were never actually used in our mine. Instead, these were used in a different gold mine called the Homestake that's in the town right next to us. So they got a lot more gold than we did. I mentioned that we got 15,000 ounces of gold out of our mine, whereas the Homestake got 40 million ounces of gold out of theirs. So, of course, that makes us feel really good about ourselves. So, since we did not have these fancy drills to use, what we had instead was a good old-fashioned hammer and chisel. So, what they would do here is they would take the chisel right into the rock wall. They'd give this a good hammer, quarter turn the chisel, hammer, quarter turn. Keep on doing that to kind of simulate that drilling motion, Keep on repeating that process until the chisel is about halfway into the rock wall here. Then they're going to take it out, and then they're going to work in pairs, with much larger tools. So, they would typically use a sledgehammer, and then they would use this much larger chisel that you can see here. So, if you can imagine, the rock wall's right behind me. I'm going to have a buddy right in front. He's going to be the lucky guy that gets to hold the sledgehammer, and I am the unlucky one who has to hold this chisel right over my shoulder here. Then we're going to have a candle to share right about here on the other guy's head, and then I am going to take my thumbnail and lick it, and then I'm going to put it on the end of that chisel. They're going to use that candlelight to reflect off that spit on the nail to actually give them a target to hit in the almost completely dark room here. Then they're going to count down 3, 2, 1. On 1, they're going to move their hand down, and then hopefully it'll be hit into the rock wall behind them. So, pretty safe procedure, obviously. Okay, so, alright. So this right here is what they would have had. This is called a Tommy stick. This metal stick right here with that hook. They'd have that leather strap right around their head, and this would just sit right on top. So, this is their only light source for 10 hours. And if you can imagine, that sledgehammer is coming right through your face. Super cool, dream job, right? So, this is actually a lot more light than they would have seen back then, because we have things in here that are reflecting light that they just did not have access to back in the day. So, for example, when they were mining in here, they had no supports or timbers in here when they were actually mining. These are placed here later on. That way it's a little bit safer for us to actually walk through here. Of course, they didn't have hard hats back then either. Those are also reflecting light. Even our skin right now is reflecting that light, whereas their skin would be completely covered in the graphite, so it would not reflect much of anything. Actually, the whole room will look more like what the ground actually looks like. All of that graphite, just absorbing everything. So, do we want to see what it was like when they were on their breaks in the complete darkness? Yeah? Okay, because I'm going to show you anyways. Right. If anybody gets scared, I have my flashlight. Just let me know and I can turn it right on. Alright, so this right here is what break time looks like. If you put your hand right in front of your face, can't see it. If you can, you're a liar. Alright, now I have a not so fun fact. A lot of the time, our miners in here would eventually end up going blind. They would develop something called miner sickness, because they'd be in here for around 10 hours. When they'd go outside, their eyes really couldn't adjust to the sunlight, and so it would do a lot of damage to their eyes over time, eventually causing them to go blind.
Hmm?
My name is LBP.
Okay. Jeg ved ikke helt, hvad jeg skal sige det. Hey, babe. Undskyld. Give it. Give it. Give it a pull.
No.
Ready?
Where are we? Yep, that wall right there is Main Street. You guessed it. That means the ceiling above us is the sidewalk. We're standing underneath the sidewalk.
Okay.
Yep. In fact, sometimes when we're down here, you can actually see people walking back and forth. They'll cast a shadow on that one that you can see upwards to your left.
Creepy.
But this little area where you're standing has been here since 1895. Now the concrete wasn't actually concrete until about 1915, but that doorway we walked through, the 3 window wells that are still sitting here, including that big one right there, those are all original. Seth had those built with the building, which means this area down here has been here from day one.
Okay.
Interesting. Hey,
Meow. There's a cat somewhere.
I'm hoping that's somebody's phone.
No. No, there's a cat or it's a ghost.
We do have a ghost cat. I'm not kidding.
Something just meow.
Well, you mentioned about a ghost.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard
There's
2
meowing.
meow.
Yeah, so have I. I thought maybe that
I
was
thought it was
somebody's
somebody's
phone.
No.
Wow.
That's creepy.
This is the first time I've actually heard her twice like that.
I thought it was up here.
But why would we have there's who's gonna walk a cat? Well, that's true. You never know. If you guys want to take some pictures down here like the last crew did, anybody that doesn't want to, they can sneak out. If you want to gather right over here just ahead of the door, I'll kill the lights. And then you guys can see if there's anything hiding around down here. Don't forget to take a picture of that mirror as you go. There's something special about that mirror. The 2 skylights that sit behind me, you can see the sunlight coming through. Remember I told you guys could walk on a piece of the old warehouse from 1879? If you go down either one of those skylights, it doesn't matter. On the other side is the soda pop machine and my ice machine. Walk towards either one, your feet will tell you there's something wrong. You're not on level ground anymore. You'll go up, hit a peak, and begin to come back down. Not because we don't know how to lay a floor properly. You're walking on the pitch of the original warehouse roof. It's still there. Seth and Sol didn't see any reason to change it in 1895 when they added the 2 floors of the hotel on top of it. Mary didn't see any reason to change it in 1990. It was still solid as a brick. You see that old staircase? That entire thing, all the way to the 3rd floor, is original to the building. And if you know any woodworkers, you can tell them that is native Douglas fir, harvested from right here in the hills. Still hard as a brick, 130 years after they got her installed. This goes for anybody, whether you have a room with us or not, okay? If you would like to come up here and enjoy the ambiance that is the Bullock Hotel, the hotel takes on an interesting characteristics after nightfall, okay? The building has a different energy to it. If you wanted to feel that for yourself, feel free. You're more than welcome to come up here, meander around, check the place out. All we ask is that if you don't have a room here, try to be respectful of the people that do, okay? What room are you guys staying in?
Is it 305?
Yeah.
Okay?
The one right upstairs.
203.
Ooh, you guys are in the corner room. Nice, that's a good one. We talked about Sarah just a little bit. Sarah loves to run up and down the hallway with her friends in the middle of the night, having a grand old time. Anytime anybody ever sticks their head out of the door to see what's going on, the sound dissipates and goes away. It's like they got busted, and so they're gonna go play somewhere else. She likes to rearrange all your stuff. Your glasses, we talked about this, that you could put them on the nightstand and they move over to the dresser or to the bathroom by first daylight, whether they're in your case or not. Now we do have some instances where we've had a little bit of, hair on the back of your neck stand up, okay? There's a chair in 203 that sits in that far corner. We've gotten more than a few stories of that chair being reversed in the middle of the night and overlooking Main Street as if there's a window there. Our head housekeeper just about quit one day. She went into those rooms, stripped the bed, threw everything on the chair in the corner, and then went next door to do the same thing. It's the process they did. Well, when she came back into 303, the corner chair was empty. All the bedding had fallen on the floor. Not a big deal. But that wasn't the part that really got her. The part that got her was the fact that it was reversed and there was somebody in it. She said you could see clear as a bell. There was a young lady with her leg tucked over. You could see her hand resting on her knee. You could see the end of her skirt. She could tell us in detail the color and style of her hose, as well as her black pumps. The problem was, when she looked down to walk around the edge of the bed and looked back up, the chair was now empty. It was still facing the wrong way, but it was now empty. So y'all know 211 is Seth Bullock's room, right? He gets spotted in this building a lot, all right? If you see a shadow walking through the night, okay, happens to have a cowboy hat on, say hi to old Seth for me. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you're kind of like, oh, what the heck was that all about? Sometimes you'll see old Seth standing over by the door. He's not trying to be a creep or peeking on you or anything like that. He's just checking on you to see if you're okay. Once he sees you coming out of your slumber and he realizes you're fine, by the time you actually clear your eyes and take a hard look, he's gone. At the end of the hallway right there. That room is 214.
And it's almost literally always booked.
Yes.
And I
214 is
love
one of the
assigning that room to people when it's not booked.
214 is the most requested room in the building. The reason it's the most active room in the building is because of its location. 214 sits on the bar, the restaurant where we started, but it also rests on the ground where the old tent city used to be. Remember, we talked about that when we went out the back door. If anybody died back there, and we know of 2 people that did, if their energy is still with us, 214 is where they would go. They would not hang out on the main floor. Ghosts are a form of energy. We know that. You can pick them up on an electromagnetic frequency reader. 214 also holds distinction. In the time that we've been here, we've had a couple of rooms where people have checked into, didn't quite feel right, and checked out. 214 holds a special distinction though. We were doing the tour one night, so we're talking and she comes out of the elevator and looks at me. She goes, would you guys like to go someplace that just had a report? Literally. I said, what? She goes, come on. So we went down to 214. The moment she cracked that door and opened it up, you could feel that energy crawl up your arm. That's how I know how to describe it, because we felt it that day. Wicked cool. I don't know what the spirit wanted to do that night. I really don't. But whatever it was, they wanted to be left alone. So we got out of Dodge and we left them be. Craziest thing we've seen in a very long time. Wicked cool. This screams 1900. The trick is this original to the hotel, or did Mary pick this up at a garage sale in 1990? I really don't know. Okay. But we do know this is where we get the lion's share of our really good pictures. You guys have seen a good number of them tonight. Now, what's really neat about this thing, yes, Sarah loves to play with this thing. We do know that. We've got a lot of photographs. We've got a lot of people that love to come up and put their hands up here. We've seen this at all towers of the day and night. They love to sit here and just maybe somebody will reach out and say hi. That chair. There's something special about that chair. That is old Seth Bullock's chair. This one is for the ladies. Ladies, if you would like to go for an experience, I would invite you to sit in said chair. Any time of the day or night, matters not. This is one of the things you can do later on. The best reports we get, she's right, the best reports we get come between 9 to midnight, okay? Now what you want to do when you sit down in the chairs, take your stuff, put it on the dresser, on the table, or on the floor next to you. Take a moment, make sure your hair is nice and loose. Did you catch that? Wasn't that nice? Thank you. Appreciate that. Put your arms up on the armrests and just kind of relax and be in the moment. If somebody's in a mood, you might feel somebody begin to play with the hair on the back of your neck. If you do, relax and enjoy. I know that's easier said than done, but
You don't enjoy it, trust me.
if you're lucky, she'll take a strand of your hair, spin it out in midair for you to watch. If you're really lucky, you might hear her giggle. And yes, I'm talking about our little friend Sarah.
Det er bare sten, de ikke har fjernet endnu.
Vi er ikke færdige nu.